1 day, 8 spots, 111 players. This is the 2025 PGA Tour Americas Bromont Open Monday Qualifier. We're at the Cowansville Golf Club. Tight fairways, fast greens, and no second chances.
Yeah, good bird.
Every shot matters. The pressure's on, and the margins are razor thin. Make it or go home. This is Monday Qualifier Golf.
Oh. Wow.
Morning guys, it is Monday, July 7th, just after 6 o'clock in the morning. I am in Cowansville for the Monday Qualifier for the PGA Tour Americas Bromont Open. Tee time is at 8:50. I just want to give you guys a quick little update on what's been going on the last couple of weeks since I have had some downtime from tournaments. So as outlined in one of my previous videos, I've been working through some swing changes now that I'm healthy again. This has been very frustrating. There's good. There's definitely good. The good shots are getting better, but anytime you're going through a swing change, there can be a certain level of inconsistency. And as good as some of the shots are, unfortunately at this point, there still seems to be maybe 2 or 3 big misses per round, which obviously can get you in trouble. So that's been very frustrating. But just got to keep plugging away. I was supposed to have an event last week. I was supposed to have a 1-day East Coast Pro Tour event in Cowansville. Unfortunately, that event got completely rained out, and I'm pretty bummed out about that because I really wanted to kind of take these swing changes into a tournament before this Monday Qualifier and kind of test out the feels and everything, and just kind of get my mind right and build up some confidence. And because of the weather, did not get that opportunity. So the game's not exactly where I'd want it to be, but obviously I've got a tee time in like a couple hours, and the game is what it is today. I'm not saying it's not good enough for me to get through. I just have to kind of try to avoid those big misses as much as possible. Today's really all going to be about mindset. I've got to go in believing in myself, and just as important is that I've got to go out there and have fun. Because in the last tournament that I put up on the channel, the last tournament I played in, I wasn't having fun. Yes, I was struggling, but I don't think my mind was in a good spot going into that event. I've got to remember that I do this because I love it. And, you know, my goal for today is just like, get on the first tee and just like take a deep breath, take it all in, and like, you know, it's a Monday morning and I have this amazing opportunity to play golf and potentially play in the PGA Tour Americas event later this week. So let's just soak it all in, and regardless of what happens, let's have fun. Anyways guys, I got to finish drinking this coffee. I got to get my body ready to go, get the car packed up, and I will see you guys at the golf course.
So we have made it to the Cowansville Golf Club. Now there was a 15-minute fog delay this morning. You can see it's a little hazy out. This pushed our tee time back from the original time of 8:50 to 9:05. The Cowansville Golf Club plays 6,922 yards from the back tees. It is rated 73.4 over 130. It's a Graham Cook design, and it's really honestly just a lot of fun to play. It's fairly demanding. It's going to ask you to hit a bunch of different shots off the tee. All in all, just a good test of golf. In this qualifier today, we are just under 130 golfers, all competing for 8 spots in the PGA Tour Americas Bromont Open, which is being hosted starting on Thursday of this week at the Chateau Bromont Golf Course in Bromont, Quebec.
third one, James Colin Davis, Canada.
And here we go. We are starting on the first hole, which is a par 4. Measures 380 yards from the black tees. It's just straight away, nothing too fancy. There is a hazard well down the right, some room to bail out down the left. I've elected to hit 3-wood on this hole. Driver's been not my best club recently. I felt like 3-wood would be a good option, and it's still going to give me a wedge in, so it's not as if I'm not going to be aggressive on this hole. I'm trying to take this down the left side of the fairway. I hit a couple of little fades with my 3-wood on the range, so just trying to give myself the widest possible window to miss in here. That was a really good feeling golf swing right there. Great contact, maybe just a 1 or 2 yard fade on it, right into the left side of the fairway. Solid start to the day there. Leaves me 117 yards in to this front flag here on the right side of the green, going slightly uphill and into the wind. That was a little knockdown gap wedge, which unfortunately I just pulled a little bit, and then it's going to take a big kick off of the fringe. If that had landed about a yard right, it would have stopped probably within 20 feet, let's say, but instead this has kind of bounced and rolled onto the back left portion of the green, which leaves us a pretty long and tricky putt here. It took me a while to figure out just how quick this was going to be, and honestly, when I hit that putt, I thought I'd left it well short, and it just continued stretching for so long and ended up finishing right next to the hole. So once my playing partners had finished up, I'm able to just step up and tap that in for my opening par. Pretty solid start to the day there. Not the best result from the wedge shot, but the execution of the shot itself really wasn't that bad. The second hole is a long par 3 today, playing 214 yards. The pin is just past the middle of the green and on the left-hand side. I've got 5-iron here. I feel like this is a little bit downwind. This should just be a comfortable 5-iron here. All in all, pretty good. Didn't quite catch all of that, but it is good enough that it's going to creep onto the front of the green there, and it's going to give me another long look at birdie here on our second hole of the day. So again, this putt is all about pace. It's not going to do too much in terms of break, going a little left early, and I think it's going to go back to the right a little bit at the end. Doesn't really go back to the right until very late, but again, the pace, very, very good. I'm going to go ahead and mark that, let my playing partners finish out, and then I'm going to step in, tap in for my par. We will take that on that tough par 3. The third hole is a 438-yard par 4 that doglegs severely to the left, and it's not too wide once you get past the corner, so it kind of takes driver out of your hands. Going over the corner just really isn't going to work out very often, so I'm hitting hybrid here, and I'm trying to draw this around the corner here. Unfortunately, though it was well hit, I did catch that a little bit out of the heel and left the face a little bit open, so instead of it turning from right to left, it ends up turning from left to right. It's fine. I'm in play, but seeing as the ball faded and went further away from the green, I'm going to have a much longer shot in than I'd anticipated. So we have 209 yards into this par 4. Again, I'm hitting a 5-iron here out of the rough. Really nice strike there on a great line. I'm just going for the middle of the green. The pin's a little on the left. I'm not even looking at that. I just want to give myself a birdie putt and allow myself to make an easy par. And we have done that. We have outside of 30 feet here for our birdie. This is going slightly back uphill, and I believe this is going to be turning a little bit to the left. Now, I definitely started this further right than I wanted, and it definitely didn't really turn to the left. But again, the pace was pretty good. I've got just outside of 2 feet here left for my par, and considering where we ended up off the tee, I'm very happy with that. This putt here to stay at even par through 3 holes. We tuck that in. It's a good start. Now, we would have liked to have started a little bit harder than this, but we're not getting ourselves in any trouble. Feel like the game is pretty solid. Just kind of got to settle into it, give myself a better look at birdie somewhere, and get this thing going. The fourth hole is a 509-yard par 5. Now, this goes uphill off the tee and then kind of breaks to the right and goes back down the hill to the green. Now, it makes you want to cut the corner and go to the right, but you really shouldn't. Something that lands left of the bunker is going to be perfect and should kick right and go down the hill a little bit.
Nice ball.
First drive of the day right there, and that was pretty solid. That made me feel really good because, as mentioned on the first tee, this has been the problem club recently, so to put a good one out there felt great. Left side of the fairway, we had 173 yards left. Now, all of a sudden this was back into wind. I didn't really trust it. I hit 8-iron. Probably should have been a 7, but coming up a little short was going to be better than going a little bit long. That finishes just off the front left of the green. We're still in good shape. I can putt this going back up the hill, turning from left to right.
Get it there.
Had it on a pretty decent line, just didn't quite hit it hard enough to get it to the hole, but we've left ourselves in a really good spot to make a 4 on this par 5 and got ourselves under par for the day. This here to clean up for birdie. There we have it, 1 under par through 4 holes. Let's go. The fifth hole is a par 3 coming in at 157 yards. Now again, this felt like it was slightly into the wind, and based on what had happened on the previous hole, I accounted for that. I'm hitting 8-iron here, not quite a full one. I'm taking a little bit off it. The pin is practically in the middle of the green, so you can get pretty aggressive with this one. Really good strike there. Starts just right of the flag, drawing in a little bit.
Good shot.
See, that takes a nice kick off that slope to the left and spins back towards the hole a bit. This is going to give us a great look for birdie from just inside of 10 feet, breaking a little bit from right to left.
Yeah, good bird.
Dead center, dead weight, 2 under par through 5 holes. So obviously this is a great start to today, but if you're going to get through one of these qualifiers, you have to go seriously low. So it's important that we keep our foot on the gas and keep giving ourselves good looks at birdies here. The sixth hole is a par 4, 412 yards. Now this dog legs pretty heavily to the right. I'd hit driver in the practice round, but I didn't love the window that you had to hit it into. You got to go up over those trees on the right. Again, not being confident with that club, I elected to hit a 3-wood, which was still going to give me a good shot in here. That was not a very good strike. Definitely hit that one a little bit heavy, a bit of a drop kick, but that's a great miss. We will absolutely take that. That leaves us 172 yards into a back left flag. Now, a bit into the wind, but you can't go long, so I'm hitting 8-iron and trying to keep it a little low, get it to go kind of through the wind. I hit this great. It's drawing in. If this gets up to the flag, it's going to leave us a nice uphill putt, and it just doesn't quite get over that slope. If that had gone about 1 more yard, it would have started feeding down the slope back to that flag. So a little bit unfortunate, but from where we were after the miss off the tee, we don't have the best look at birdie, but we're not in any kind of trouble, and we still have a putt, though it is a little bit longer than what we wanted. Now this putt does have a lot of movement on it. It's going to go downhill and to the right early, and then it's going to go back up the hill and turn left at the end. That thing was tracking quite nicely. Admittedly, I did expect it to go a little bit further right at the beginning, but from that distance, that's a pretty good effort. We've got a little bit of work left here for our par. That keeps us at 2 under par through 6 holes. The 7th hole is a short par 4 coming in at 361 yards. Now, it's not the widest of holes, but with this pin at the front, it's on a very big slope. I want to get my ball as close to the green as possible, because coming in from, let's say, 100 or 120, you You're going to have so much spin on the ball, it would be hard to get anything close. Now you'll see more what I mean in a minute here. Starts off with a good drive. That's down the right side of the fairway, but well hit. Not going left. My miss right now with the driver has been left, and I absolutely do not like to see that. Very happy with that ball flight. This puts us in the right side of the fairway with 63 yards to this front flag, as mentioned. Clipped that great, but knew right away it was a little long.
Sit.
Asking for it to stop, it spins back down the hill and gets back below pin high, which is awesome because now I have an uphill putt and I can be a little bit aggressive. Now this putt has got some movement on it, heavy from left to right, but it's a good look.
Oh, yes.
Matched up the line and the pace beautifully.
Yes, yes, yes.
We are 3 under par through 7 holes. The 8th hole is a 514-yard par 5. Pretty straight away overall. Again, I'm going to be hitting driver here. I want to get this as far up the fairway as possible. Give myself the shortest approach shot in here. There's a bunker left and a bunker right. You just want to be between those. Now I do pull this one a little bit. I mentioned that I don't like it going left. I'm not thrilled with that, but it's reasonably left. It's not like a pull hook, which is the ones that I really don't like.
Nope, out.
Out?
Yep.
Luckily that did just chase through the bunker, but it did actually finish on the downslope and kind of sitting down in a bit of a hole, so the lie isn't great. I only have 209 yards in, but it's going to be hard for me to get it up over those trees, so I'm hitting 6 iron and hoping that I can chase this up to the green, and if not, leave it just short. Got pretty good club on it out of that lie.
Okay, you
It
got over it.
covers that fairway bunker that you see, that kind of cross bunker there. We can't see
Might
where
actually
it
be pretty
finishes,
good.
but it can't be that bad. And though we're in a decent spot, it's really not a great leave to this flag, unfortunately. So you're going to see that everything from where I am is going to feed heavily downhill and to the right. It would be awfully difficult to get this shot within, let's say, 5 feet. So I just want to make sure that I'm leaving this in a spot where I have an uphill putt. So I'm not really looking at the flag. I'm trying to land this in the fringe, as I did, and then let it feed to the right, get below the hole there, get a little bit past it. That's going to leave me a fairly straight uphill birdie putt. Now it is still about 8-9 feet, but again, good leave. This is like a left edge putt, almost dead straight. Just got to get it on line, get the pace right.
Yep.
4 under par through 8 holes. We are rolling. The putter is feeling hot right now. The 9th hole is a 433-yard par 4 that doglegs very heavily to the right. Though I'm hitting 3-wood here, and I'm basically trying to slice it. Like, you really can't go too far right. But if I happen to hit this, say, straight or with a bit of a draw in it, it could go through the fairway and behind some trees. Now, I do get movement on it from left to right there. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not as much cut as I was looking for. It is going to go through the fairway into the rough, but I'm not in any kind of trouble. I still have 192 yards in here to a back flag. Now, this felt downwind and it looked like I had a flyer lie. So that being considered, I hit 8 iron, and I hit this thing great. I felt like this was one of the better swings I'd made all day. It does get up on the green, but it's still well short of the pin. And it turns out that between us being on 8 and getting onto the 9th hole, the wind had flipped 180 degrees on us. So 7 iron would have been a better play there, but it's not like the 8 iron put us in any kind of trouble. So long look at birdie here from the front portion of the green going to this back flag. This is really all about pace. It's on a good line. Just misses the hole a little to the right. Continues on about 3 feet. We've got some work left to do, but that was pretty good from that distance there. This to clean up the front 9 with a 4 under 32. And we are in a great spot heading into the back 9 of this Monday Qualifier. The 10th hole is a 429-yard par 4 that's similar to the 9th. It doglegs to the right again, but not quite as heavily. So I'm hitting 3-wood again. I do have to fade it, but it doesn't necessarily have to, let's say, slice like the one on 10. Though if you go long here, those trees on the left are out of bounds. So I'm going to make sure that this moves to the right. As it does. It goes a little more right than I was ideally looking for. But as mentioned, the one thing that that ball was not going to do was go left. That finishes in the right rough. I have 176 yards in here. This is a 7-iron, not quite full, taking some off of it. Now the ball was below my feet and I expected it to fade, and it just kind of came out a little left on me. So it was good for distance, but it finds the bunker. Those who watched my qualifier here last year know that we were in good shape at this point last year, and things took a turn after I hit it into this bunker. Now they've added sand, so this should be more playable than it was last year, but this is still tricky, running away from us and to the right. I was trying to play this to finish about 6 feet below the hole. I missed that about a foot right of where I was looking, and I did not realize just how heavily it was going to take that slope. And I mean, that almost goes off the front of the green.
I played that quite well.
You can hear me say there, I really felt like I played that quite well and just kind of misjudged how it was going to react once it hit the green. But we do have a par putt. It's uphill. It doesn't have a lot of movement on it.
Oh.
And the putter absolutely bails us out. That is a huge par save that keeps us at 4 under through 10. We're feeling like 6 under par is a pretty safe number for today that will get us through. So we're in good shape, but we cannot afford to be dropping strokes at this point. We still need to make some birdies. The 11th hole is a 536-yard par 5. Very straight away, nothing too special here. Just looking for a good drive. It's not a great drive, but I mean, it didn't go left, so I wasn't that upset. Now, we do see it take a bounce to the right there. I'm going to go ahead and hit a provisional because I'm not actually sure if it's hazard up the right side. And this one here, seeing as I'd missed the previous one right, this was not going to go right. It goes just a little left. I mean, that's an acceptable amount of left. That ended up finishing down the left side of the fairway. So we know at least that one is in play. But as it turns out, it is hazard down the right. We do find my ball on the edge of the hazard. As you can see, that lie is special. So I took a little walk. There's a water hazard at the bottom of that hill, which is right where the 100-yard marker would be. So I'm trying to figure out where can I try to get this ball out to and give myself a shot at the green. So I'm hitting a lob wedge out of here, and when I'm standing over the ball, I literally can't even see it because there's so many like leaves between my eyesight and the ball. Did a really good job of trusting where the golf ball was. That came out nicely up over those 2 trees that you see. Finished in the fairway at the top of the hill, right near the 150 marker. Couldn't have done much more than that from there. This left me 144 yards in. This is a 9-iron that I'm taking a little bit off of. It's fairly well hit, just left of the flag. It just takes a massive kick and bounds on towards the back of the green.
Yeah, that green's really hard.
Yeah, no kidding, Matt. You can see I'm repairing my ball mark like within 10 feet of the hole, and look where the ball finished. Just unbelievably firm. So we have an outside look at birdie here. This green slopes from front to back, so this is sneaky uphill, but it's hard to trust it. I had a pretty decent read on the line there, but just couldn't convince myself that I had to hit it that hard. So I have left myself some work here for par. We've faced some adversity in the last 2 holes here. Let's see how I bounce back. Just creeps in the left side. Would preferred if that had gone in the middle, but at this point, it counts, and I don't care. The 12th hole is a 392-yard par 4 that doglegs heavily from left to right. I'm hitting hybrid here because I'm going to try to fade this, but if the hybrid goes straight, it's not going to go long enough to put me in the trees. 3-wood and driver, you basically have to hit the perfect shot. Great swing there. Just over the right corner there. High little fade with the hybrid. We're going to see that's going to get a nice kick to the right as well. We will take that. Oh, wildlife segment. We got some geese. So I have 140 yards here to a back pin. Now this is 2-tiered green. You can see me right away changing clubs there. I had pitching wedge out initially, but then felt some wind into, so I pulled out my 9. Now it's not going to be a full 9 because I don't want to go long, but pitching wedge was likely not going to get up onto that top tier. So I'm just going for a bit of a, my feel, 3/4 9-iron here. It's like a 150-yard shot. This is enough club to get onto the top tier, not enough club to go over the back of the green. So I'm feeling really good with this club in my hand right now. Great strike, just a little right of the flag, which is where I was aiming, because this is going to leave me the straightest uphill putt.
Sit.
Fantastic landing spot. And after how firm the previous green had been, this 9-iron spins back down the tier, way down the tier. Couldn't believe that. It hit such a good golf shot. And we'll see again that where I'm going to repair my ball mark. That would have been a very makeable putt from there. And instead, we are down here near the front of the green with a very difficult 2-putt ahead of us now. This is obviously uphill. Should break slightly from right to left. Now, I was misaligned. I started that way further right than I intended to, and also hit it way firmer than I needed to. So this is a few holes now where we've given ourselves some work left for par. We've dealt with it pretty well. We didn't face much adversity on the front 9. We hit all 9 greens from regulation. That was some pretty easy golf. This is another must-make situation here. About 7 feet, breaking from right to left.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
dead center.
Yes.
Dead weight. The putter has been phenomenal today. Now, as we got to the 13th tee, a rules official told us that the hole was open ahead of us and that they just wanted us to pick up the pace a little bit. Not a problem. We agree. So the 13th hole is a par 4, 385 yards. Very slight dogleg to the right. I'm hitting 3-wood because if you go right with any club, it's not really good, but if you go left and hit 3-wood, you can come short of the trees up there and still have a shot in. Good hit there, just faded on me a little bit, so it's down the right. See it come down, land in the rough there. It's not far enough right that I'm in trouble. It's not fairway, but I'm going to have a shot into the green. Now, I have not mentioned this. It was incredibly hot on this day. I mean, Matt and I just sweating profusely. So we have 83 yards left in here to a front right flag. Now the ball was sitting up in this rough a little bit. It felt like a good swing, but unfortunately it just came up off the top part of the club because it was sitting up and it was just dead. It came out with no speed on it. This finishes a little short of the green, about 2 paces off the front edge. I elect to putt this. This is going uphill and breaking from right to left. Man, that looked good for a long time. Really nice effort there from off the front of the green. Would have preferred, obviously, to have been putting for birdie from the green surface itself, but all things considered, we will take that tap-in par.
We are on the clock now?
I'll be timing. Thank you.
So after being told that we were out of position and to speed up a little bit, just 1 hole ago, all of a sudden we've been put on the clock, which seemed a little bit intense given the circumstance. Anyways, this is the 14th hole. It's a par 3, 174 yards today. Pin is on the right side of the green. I'm hitting an 8-iron. Of course, we're on the clock, so I'm trying to speed up my process a little bit because I don't want to miss getting through this qualifier because of a time penalty. And that is really the first swing today where my tempo got quick and I got out of sequence. And you can hear the big exhale there. I am frustrated, very frustrated. One, don't really understand why we were put on the clock when they just told us to speed up one hole ago. And two, I'm in contention. So anyways, we're in this front bunker here on the right. Not a lot of green to work with here. Hit that great. When that came out, I was like, oh great, I'm gonna have like 5-6 feet. And it just never stopped rolling. It seems to be another fairly firm green, but again, I can't be too upset with the execution. Now we're on the clock, so I didn't have a ton of time to read this putt, but I feel like I've got a good handle on what it's gonna do, and just hit it a little too firm for the line that I picked. I'll just miss it on the high side. If I hit that at, let's say, maybe a foot or 18 inches less pace, that's going to turn right into the hole, but just don't quite get it matched up there. I still have some work here to do to clean up for bogey. It's about 2 feet, just outside of 2 feet, going back up the hill. This one's going to turn a little bit from right to left. And it would be disastrous after going bogey free so far if we do not convert this putt. We do. We're in for bogey. That takes us back to 3 under par. We get on to the par 5 15th, which is a 546 yard hole. It goes pretty straight off the tee, but the hole does go left afterwards. Now my other playing partners have already hit, so I kind of raced up to the tee, teed my ball up, and go. Hit a great drive. Absolutely no complaints there. One of the better drives I had hit on this day, right into the right center of the fairway. Now, as we're walking up the fairway, we see that the group ahead of us is just getting ready to hit their tee shots on the next hole. So at this point, I go to the official. I'm like, hey, at what point are we back in position? She's like, oh, well, now. Like, so we're off the clock. She says, yeah. I'm like, okay. It was frustrating that I had to ask for that information. But anyways, I have 240 yards in here for my second shot on this par 5. The pin is back left. I'm hitting 4-iron. I can't fly this back to the hole. I'm trying to land this kind of middle of the green and let it release back to the hole here. Really nice strike. Unfortunately, just pulled it a little bit left. That shot tracer was a little weird, but anyways, that ball finishes in that left-hand side bunker, which is not the worst leave because at least I'm going to be kind of pitching this ball back up the slope. Now, it is a bit of a tricky shot because I do have to carry a bit of a downslope, and then the ball's going to start breaking to the left. Another really nice strike out of the bunker. Just misses the hole, but again, one that just didn't really check for me, so that chased on much further than I would have liked, and I've got a very tricky birdie putt here to get us back to 4 under.
Yes.
Dead center, dead weight, back to 4 under par. But unfortunately, the situation with the official is still bothering me. I just have not been able to let it go because to put us on the clock for a par 3 and a drive, just so absolutely unnecessary. Anyway, 16th hole, par 4, 405 yards straight away. I sky my drive, which is out of character, to say the least. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like it has never happened. It just really doesn't happen very often. Now, as we were walking up the fairway, I'm telling Matt, hey, we got a birdie 2 out of the next 3. And that starts here. Got 144 yards in, little into wind. That's a small 9-iron that is all over the flag. Hit that incredibly well and goes well past pin high. Unfortunately, I really felt like we were going to have a putt from inside of 12 feet, but I've got about 25 feet here. This is going left to right, a little bit downhill, and then very quickly downhill past the hole. Now, felt great when I hit the putt, but it's just a way quicker putt than I had anticipated. And we've had fairly good pace control throughout the day, except for our first putt on 12. But that was poor timing. I know I wanted to give that a chance to go in, but I've given myself a lot of work left here for par. Just a slight overread, and that is a heartbreaking 3-putt bogey on the 16th hole right there. It doesn't necessarily take us out of it, but we've definitely got to finish birdie if we want a chance to get through. The 17th hole is a tough par 3, 187 yards today, pin kind of the top right of the green. Tons of slope on this green. You have to stay below this flag. So I'm hitting 7-iron. Back into wind, I kind of wanted to hit 6, but 6 could get past it, and that's almost an automatic 3-putt. So the 7 comes up just short on the front fringe there, but it was the right play. I have left myself an uphill look at birdie here. This is turning from left to right considerably. Unfortunately, you see that ball just kind of bounce out of the fringe a little bit. That takes a little bit of the pace off it, but you can see that the line was quite good. So it doesn't drop, but from there, it's a fairly solid effort from the fringe. A couple of feet left here to clean up for par. We make our 3 on 17. We are 3 under par going on to 18, but we need a miracle on 18. 6 was our number earlier. We think 5 might have a chance, so we've got to find a way to hole out from the fairway. Now the drive on 18 is tricky. This is a 420-yard par 4, but you can see a tree down the left side of the fairway there. If you're left center of the fairway, you can actually be blocked by that tree, so the window you're hitting this in is very, very narrow, but it doesn't really matter because I sky my second drive in a row. And this one was actually skied even worse than the one on 16. Now it does end up in the fairway, but it does also leave me 209 yards into this 419-yard hole. So I've got my 4-iron out. This is into the wind. You'll actually hear like the wind's picking up now. It hadn't been very windy earlier, but we've got this 4-iron from 209 yards that we have to hold out to give ourselves a chance. Good strike.
Eat it, club.
I was trying to draw it, faded on me just a yard or two. It's going to kick a little bit to the left.
Nice
it's
shot.
not going to go in, but from 209 into the wind, that was a pretty good effort. We've got this putt here from the back right fringe going down the hill, turning a bit from right to left. This to finish with a 4 under par 68. Again, just kind of bobbles coming out of the fringe. Comes up a little bit short and left. Not a bad putt. Not a bad effort. We tap in for a 3 under par 69. And a lot to be proud of, but a very, very frustrating finish to a day that for a long time looked like something special was going to happen, and we actually had a chance to get through. Now, unfortunately, I only get to play in, 1 or 2 of these qualifiers per year. So to feel like it's the day where your game is just kind of clicking and everything's working for you, just for things to fall apart a little bit on the back 9 because of a rule situation that, again, seems somewhat unnecessary. It's heartbreaking.
Pleasure.
It's very difficult. Alright guys, time for the post-round recap. Now, I know I mentioned a lot of this when I was going through the round in the voiceover, but I just want to circle back to the situation with the rules official and being on the clock. Now, obviously this was very frustrating for me. When we were informed on the 13th tee that the hole in front of us was open, the hole was open. I'm never going to dispute that. That's just fact. But I really don't feel like our group was playing slowly. The group behind us had never really waited for us. We seemed to be keeping pace in front of them. It just seemed like the earlier groups that were, some of the first groups who had gone off for the day ahead of us were just playing ahead of pace. But I understand them wanting us to speed up, and we didn't argue. We played the 13th hole quite quickly, and then to just be put on the clock on the next hole just seemed like, whoa,
you just told us to speed up. Like, we did. Just give us a chance to get back in position. Like, is this necessary? It just seems aggressive. Now, the bogey on 14 obviously was very unfortunate, but what upset me more than anything about being put on the clock was that after we hit our tee shots on the next hole, we were back in position. They literally put us on the clock for a hole and a shot, which just, like, what are we doing here? Now, I admittedly, I was not able to let go of this, and that falls 100% on me. This definitely brought up some anger, I guess we should call it, from some previous encounters I've had with rules officials in, similar yet somewhat different situations in the past. Now, I need to find a way to not let this affect me as much going forward, because this very clearly had an impact on the outcome of my round today, and it's definitely not the last time in my professional career that I'm going to be in a situation like this. So my 3 under par score of 69 was not good enough to get through. At the end of the day, there were 2 players who finished at 8 under, 1 player at 7 under, and 6 other players who finished at 6 under par. Now, seeing as there were only 8 spots, the 6 players at 6 under had to go to a 6-way playoff for 5 spots. And man, you have got to feel for the guy who shot a 6 under par 66 and just came up short in the playoff. I mean, golf can just be absolutely brutal. My 3 under par score put me in a tie for 26th place out of 111 players. And I mean, this field was stacked with a litany of very accomplished professionals from Canada, the States, and around the world. All expenses included, this event set me back $804.72. That is the entry fee. I had to spend 1 night in a hotel, gas, and some food. Seeing as it was another qualifier, there is no payout. So this brings our total expenses for the season to $5,192.52, and our earnings remain at $1,717. Now to go over my game, I'm happy with the way that I played. My ball striking still isn't where I want it to be. Driver, though it was fairly good today, not that I hit everything great, but even the misses were in play. They didn't really cost me. The driver has to get better. The iron play and wedge play is getting better, but I still want to improve my proximity a little bit, because like today as an example, my short game and specifically my putting were very, very strong. And if I can find a way to improve the ball striking and improve my proximity and pair it with the way that I putted today and through most of my tournaments this year, that's when we can really start looking at posting some low numbers. Anyways, guys, that's going to be a wrap for this tournament recap. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you're new to the channel, please like the video, leave me a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We have grown 150% in the last 3 weeks. Now, this obviously is going to change by the time this is posted, but I honestly cannot get over how much people are kind of latching onto this content, how quickly the channel is growing right now. I really would love it if we can carry this momentum right through the season and into the winter. Thank you all for watching and for your continued support. You guys all mean the world to me. That's it for this one. As always, I'll be back again next week with another video. Cheers, guys.